In fact, I'm going to make this a segment. I'm going to spin on this. Okay. So one of the problems with working in this country is most of the time when you work, they got you by the balls. If you get fired, you starve, right? You lose your house, right? That is the coercive nature of work under capitalism, especially in the United States of America. So it's one thing, right? Like if you work for someone, right? Like let's say you get a second job that you don't need. You don't need the second job, right? We're not talking about the situation where people need second jobs, right? You get a second job, you don't need to hold that job to live, but you get it because you want to, you want to work more now and, whatever. You can have your reasons, right? It's less coercive when you don't need it because then, let's say you get fired, you're still good to go. So that's the thing that American capitalists don't want you to know, is that, like, if you can find a way to not be 100%, have your entire livelihood tied to that job, then they can't fuck with you as much. When they know, right, that's why workers are abused in such a way, right? Because, like, if they know the workers, or rather the management and the higher ups, the corporations know if they get fired, they starve, they become homeless, right? And so it creates this like parasitical relationship where they're just kind of leeching everything away from you. That's why you're seeing this big stink over this great resignation bullshit. Some jobs are often offering sign-on bonuses or whatever, that kind of stuff. So people are switching from job to job every couple of months, taking advantage of that. And again, there's no job security, as I was mentioning before. There's no reason to stay at the same job for 40 years most of the time. They don't offer the same kind of benefits that they did a long time ago. So again, this is why I'm a big proponent of being against work. I don't want to work for anyone else and need to survive. That's the big thing. For me, this is my direction, but I have a bunch of side hustles. I have like 15 different side hustles. If one of them gets fucked in the ass, then I've got 14 other ones. I don't actually have 15, but that's a hyperbolic representation. I try to have as much, stuff going on as possible so that I'm not necessarily tied down to one thing. Now, again, some things are more valuable in that kind of way than others. But again, I recommend everyone try their best to kind of like, loosen the restraints on the capital has on them. Grow your own food. If you are less reliant on grocery stores or money, how do you get food in the grocery store? You spend money. If you're less reliant on that, and if you got, like, let's say you're growing, some tomatoes or even anything that can make a dent in that, growing your own food is going to help you, again, loosen the restraints that you have from capital. Any way that you can kind of divorce your need, your requirement to work in any way possible, even by a little, it's all harm reduction. Because again, you could get fucked over at any point, right? And so again, and the capitalists know that, the corporate interests know that, the management knows that, they know that they've got that over you, right? So again, if you can loosen that in any way possible, I recommend doing so. Again, it's the way that this economy functions is by, saying, yeah, if you don't work for me, we're going to starve you into oblivion and then you'll die. Right? That's just the way this economy works. That's the way capitalism works. So anything you can do to eat away at that, I recommend doing. Fuck work. Like, if you can avoid work, avoid it. That's my thing. If you can avoid as much work as possible, avoid it. And I define work as working for somebody else. That's what I'm defining work as in this instance. Like, if you I think working on your own stuff, like, expressing your own creativity, or like, developing a product or a business of your own kind, that's less work, and that's more like just, following your passions, right? So I define work as working for someone else and needing to do so. You know what I mean? Like, if you work for Wendy's and like that's a major corporation, and without that job you will literally die or become homeless, you need to avoid that in any capacity. Now, again, obviously it's not the easiest thing in the world to just say, oh, I don't need to work anymore. You need to figure something out. And this is why I recommend everyone should always be trying to look for alternatives in everything. When it comes to water, when it comes to how you get food, when it comes to like try to see like if you can find a better deal on anything, or if you can grow your own stuff, or if you can, anything that you can to ease the load monetarily speaking. Where you need that job or whatever, I recommend doing that. And again, we're seeing in this great resignation, a lot of mainstream media is against that, and they're calling us lazy. Well, I don't know about us, but they're calling, most Americans lazy because they're quitting jobs. I say, fuck that. If you don't need that other job, fuck that job. Say, hey, give me a raise or I walk. What are you going to do? What if you got your entire like coworker base to just say, hey, give us all a $1 an hour raise, or we just walk, all of us? Hey, I'm just saying, what happens, right? If you all don't need those jobs to survive anymore, then boom, like unions will grow. So again, I'm just saying, this is why community organizing is so important. Like if you could get a whole neighborhood of people to like feed each other and pay each other's mortgages and their rents and all their all that kind of stuff, boom, pay their food bills, pay for their heating, all that kind of stuff, then the government, then capitalists don't have any power over you. Now, again, it's not that simple because of the culture we live in. But yeah, there you go. I say fuck work. I'm against work. I'm anti-work in the most severe sense of the word. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in selling my valuable time to corporate overlords. Don't believe in it. I say no. I say fuck that. It's just me, though.